risk. One is, and we did this about 25 years ago when I started, is we changed our name. Often your name is a giveaway. So if you have hope, healing, help, feeding, starving, care, concern, or hearts, whatever, you are understood to be a foreign organization. In Haiti, we are called Productive Cooperatives Haiti, and we are Haitian. We are seen as all Haitian. We are seen as a resource provider to Haitians, so that insulates us. Second reason I would say is we are not logo driven. So we do not have signage everywhere. Anything we do, we don't put our logo on because it's not ours. It is theirs. We don't have logos on our vehicles. So we are, as I say, we're not signage. People know who you are not by your sign, but what is in their heart. That is where you make the imprint. So for me to be there, I would not be able to go to the field because I would definitely be kidnapped. And we were making the joke the other day, well, somebody's got to talk to these gangs. If they kidnap me, for sure they'll be sending me back very quickly. So, because I want to know, why are you doing these things? And this has to stop. So, although our staff were advising me that I might be tortured before that. So I am better here, I'm better here relaying the message on their behalf than I am to be there.
I think it's a great message, and it's probably one of the best ones I've heard that actually has to do with specifically to Haiti. I understand a lot about the tumultuous past that they've had, as well as worked with many, many Haitians in my career. Oh yes, they are a very proud people, always putting on their Sunday best, even if it's just go to work and change into another uniform. But culturally, they have significant differences to what would be our normal, what we would come to expect, or even just see as moral. Great hardworking individuals, very family orientated. It's not uncommon for many of them to have 6 or 8 children with multiple lives. They're very different to what you would think something so close to the United States would be as just a normal experience on a tropical island, for that matter.
I would say that very reason is why a lot of international organizations are ineffective, because they tend to have a project template that they try to implement in Haiti. And you are implementing based on what we call our Western values. And our Western values, Haiti is completely antithetical to all our Western values. So if you're coming thinking success is important, individualism is important, technology is important, all of that kind of thing, it does not work in Haiti.
So whose land do you grow the food on?
Well, we don't grow the food.
Well,
okay.
The
All right.
cooperative members.
So
do they have their own land?
Yes, they do.
On?
Yes, they do.
And it's just a matter of combining neighborhoods, basically.
Well, a cooperative model is designed to, we call it the third way or the third choice. So it's designed to deal with a common adversity that where you might not see or receive government support, or you don't have the individual capacity to address it. So a simple thing might be access to seeds, and I think that's something you generally hear about. We don't have good seed. So if you have that common adversity, if you pool 10 people or 20 people or 30 people, then they have to be a shareholder. A lot of people critique us for that. If they're poor, how can you ask for money? Well, you know what? If they're so poor they have nothing, sometimes nothing is still nothing. So your investment is nothing. We take an investment-based approach. To people who support us, it's the same thing. We're here to multiply that investment. And if we cannot do that, then, to me, being a good steward of your donor dollars to ensure that it is multiplied, not that it's just going into, an endless hole. So if you're going to, and when you become a cooperative, you have to be able to identify what's your economic activity. And in most cases, we deal almost 100% in agriculture. So if agriculture is going to be your activity, you need land. You can't say you're in agriculture and not have land. So we currently, at this point, because we don't own the cooperatives, they're owned and managed by the membership, so we have relationships or partnerships, documented partnerships. They can choose to work with us or not. We can choose to work with them or not. But if they choose to work with us, they have to follow the rules. And if they don't, we withdraw.
What rules?
What would be the rules? To follow the rules of cooperative. Open and voluntary membership. You have to be an invested shareholder. You have to invest in the education of your members. You have to contribute to the greater cooperative model. You have to have participatory and democratic elections. There are 7 guiding principles that you can Google.
Which you can find on our website.
Which you can find on our website as well, or just Google.
But Betsy,
Google
wanted,
National Principles.
so we recently were applying for the GuideStar, for the transparency level for GuideStar, which we've gotten as platinum. And so we have some metrics we had to answer. Share with us how much land.
Yes, so one of the metrics, we said how much land do we indirectly cultivate? Does anybody want to guess? We are not a large organization, but how many acres do you think?
1,000 acres.
20,000.
Wow.
So we are a small organization. We are not a multi-million-dollar organization, but we are very low to the ground. We are not bureaucratic. We are field people. And I would say it's a minimum of 20,000 acres that we affect with what we do. So the land is owned by them. Is owned by the individual members. The only land that would be only capital asset that would be owned by the cooperative itself would be a seed storage silo.
And do you sell the product to?
We
groceries?
don't. Our job is to be a resource provider, so to
Your
connect
cooperative-
them. Yes.
Your cooperative
Yes.
sells the product
Yes.
to local grocery stores or?
We aren't at the grocery store level, as we are to some extent to hotels, right? But most of it is in the rural market areas.
So it's a local village market that you
Yes.
can bring your produce
Yes.
to?
Yes.
Okay, and it's a cash exchange at that?
Oh, yes.
Okay. What do you grow?
Haiti can grow just about anything, and a lot of people don't realize that. Haiti has a very, very topography. It's very mountainous, so in Haiti you have valleys, you have plains, and you have mountains. So in valleys you can grow things like rice. In the plains you can grow things like watermelon, and in the mountains you can grow things like coffee. But some of the primary products are rice and grains, sorghum, and corn, and beans, all kinds of varieties of beans. And then of course there's fruit. So there's plantain and bananas. In Creole, plantain is called banane. So a lot of people, when they say banana, you think it's bananas, but it isn't, it's plantain. So banana is called fig, and plantain is called banane. So they grow. There's lots of plantain, bananas, mangoes. Mangoes, they have like infinite varieties of mango.
Coconuts.
Coconut, avocado. Best
Oh, yeah.
avocado in the world.
So what does the money that is raised for your nonprofit go to? What do you use it for?
We use it to invest in cooperatives. So we do have a staff. So we have a core staff, and we have then field staff. So we have varying programs. So we invest in adult literacy, we invest in the cooperative model, and we invest in agriculture production. So to give you an example.
Betsy, telehealth.
So in telehealth. So I'll give you an example. So everything we do is to either reinforce or strengthen the business model of cooperative. So, for example, a number of years ago, we introduced a cooperative-based health service using telehealth. We are the only organization that is experimenting with this kind of thing. And it's based on a membership model. So you can sign up and you pay a flat fee for a family of 7. So there are policies drawn up as to what this annual flat fee, and now you are a member of a cooperative health. So you benefit from the service and you benefit as a shareholder, okay? Where would your money go? So in health, we do provide the core staff. So we pay for doctors, nurses, and medication. Medication is through the roof these days. You pay, transportation is a big deal. So we don't have a big fleet of vehicles, but diesel, your cost for diesel. So that is what you pay for that. It's like salaries and resources that allow us to do what we do.
And if you're investing in the cooperative agricultural side, do you get any kind of stipend from that industry to go back into the coffer for the nonprofits? Like, do you get any return from?
The return, we get return in terms of credit. Okay, so we, within the agriculture piece, we do provide levels of credit. It's at a very low interest rate. We actually, like it's 1%.
Wow.
Okay, and it's term. And we use that money though, we don't put that money back into the organization. That money is often put either back into other cooperative programs. Where we do get money, that goes back into the organization, is because of our high level of accountability, other organizations hire us to do their payroll or do their admin work. So for us to achieve or to have a platinum level of transparency, we've had these contracts before, but we decided to go the route, because we're audited. So we do have partnerships that allow the organization in Haiti to continue. So not every, we do general donations would either come through our U.S. Charity or through our Canadian charity. But we also have partnerships that I negotiate that go directly to Haiti. They don't come through our system. So we have a number of that, and we do charge an admin fee, and that admin fee then we take off the top. So somebody gives us a water project deal, or an agricultural project. They know that a percentage of that goes to admin, which also ensures that we do annual audits in Haiti.
Well, yeah, having that Platinum Transparency Award for Haiti is a huge deal. It is. There's a lot of shady dealings that happen in Haiti, unfortunately. You saw that Praz Michael was convicted today, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So unfortunate. But,
Well, it is.
He deserves to be convicted.
Who
but
is he?
He's actually a member of the rap group The Fugees.
The Fugees.
Oh, okay.
Back
So
in the
he's
80s.
extremely
Yeah.
successful as a rap group in America, but still with his home ties in Haiti was wrapped up in international misdealings.
Okay.
Yes. He'll probably spend the rest of his life in jail, I expect.
Is it your impression that things are getting better in Haiti or worse? Or they're staying about the same and it's always going to be like that, or what?
This is, I would say, this gives us a level of emotion both Ruth and I. We just had, we talk to Haiti every day. And this morning, it's worse. What we are, yes, no, it's worse and worse and worse. What is happening now, though, is that the people are rising up. They've had enough. I don't want to give you really gruesome news, but it is gruesome. But the people are standing up for themselves. They've all had enough, and the government is not doing anything, and they are retaliating. So yes, it was bad. It was really tough news this week, but
Is there a government?
there is a government, but most of the politicians are very complicit in the gangs, so they do nothing. So they are the ones who arm the gangs, though the gangs are getting to a point where they're making enough money on kidnapping, they can arm themselves. And I hate to tell you, but they're all coming from Florida.
The guns, yeah.
Do they come and attack your cooperative members?
No. We're relatively insulated because we are in the countryside. The gangs are controlling mostly the metropolitan areas of Port-au-Prince. They control your exits, and they control communities in and around that, because that's often where the money is invested. Where we are is very difficult to access. It is beyond an Indiana Jones adventure. I mean, yeah, I know I don't look like the type because I get manicures, but it's not for the faint of heart. I will tell you where we go, but we've been doing this for a long time. So we are relatively insulated where we are. So,
But also our workers, like the challenge for our workers to go to the country is to get out of the city. So
Yeah.
we don't drive our own vehicles anymore, even though they're not
Yes.
labeled. They have to go public transport to try
You just have to
to
change
merge.
your strategy.
You have to pivot. And,
Yeah.
But the commitment of the 30 Haitians we have on the ground there is humbling, to say the least.
The majority of them would have a choice to leave the country, and they don't. Other than that, of course, we also invest in the local technicians. So if we don't get to the field, it still carries on, right? We don't. Our job is not to control or to be indispensable.
Has any progress been made on reconstruction after the
Earthquake?
Earthquake and the various hurricanes that came through?
I was there for the earthquake, and for months and months and months and years after that, it's been 13 years, and that is really a whole other kind of unfortunate story, and it would affect me to tell it. What I will say is that a lot of people came to me after the earthquake thinking, they would say a couple of things. They would say, oh, we were to be on that plane, or we just left and God saved us. And I think, what about those of us who were still here? Is God not with us? And the second thing is that it was like a gold rush. It was a very, very unfortunate and sad situation. Haiti was just flooded with people and money beyond anything you could ever imagine. And vehicles. There were so many new vehicles in Haiti, you couldn't find a vehicle. It was just, it was like the last gold rush. But Haitians, people would say, don't they feel guilty for having survived? And I said, no, they don't. They feel that God has given them, a voice to say, we can't take this anymore. How many more people must be sacrificed before you get it? Haitians do want to participate in the development of their country. They want to have a voice. I wrote extensively about it, but I will say no one listens. And that is why you have the Haiti today. People are not listening. Ruth and I are presently involved in an organization that is hoping to really develop directly, local participation, community driven, and we're part of the dialogue. We were listening yesterday to their weekly meeting, and they do have Haitians, and at the end of it, I said, Ruth, as much as their mandate is to listen to people, they are not listening to what the Haitians are saying. And as somebody who has been intricately involved in Haiti for over 50 years, you hear it, but yet, the foreigners are all about making it happen, developing log frame analysis and developing M&Es and, developing proposals of which the average Haitian has no understanding of the language you are using. And they will kind of meekly say, we're just not clear who's doing what. And nobody hears that. The Haitian is saying they're not clear who's doing what. And yet, the organization is trotting out all of the LFAs and all of this, but the people you are helping aren't understanding what you're talking about. That is not community-driven development.
Is there enough food?
Haiti was a country that can feed itself. It used to be able to, and yet currently, I'm going to say probably 70% of Haiti's food consumption is imported. So what do you have now when the ports are seized by the gangs and people are not sending in food? What do you have when you have orphanages that are sponsored by churches with feeding programs or schools that have feeding programs that are closed? And those kids are now having to go back to families that have not been responsible to feed their children. You have hunger. when food can't come in, and schools and orphanages are closing, you will have hunger. You do not have hunger where you have agricultural cooperatives that grow food. There are no orphanages in those communities, there are no sponsorship programs, and there is not hunger. But it doesn't, we talk about service above self, it doesn't give the same feel-good opportunity when you say we're sponsoring a school or we're sponsoring a feeding program. This is where I get a little tough. I'm sorry. Those are not noble agendas. Because yes, now Haiti is hungry.
Speaking of hungry, would you like to eat a long
I will.
We got
we're
finger
trying-
food specifically so we can still talk.
Yeah.